Switching gears now to politics and the coming elections. After all, it is the policies that come out of the politics and the elections that affect you. Talking about food, agriculture, flooding, the economy, and all of that. So this is really important. And this morning, we'll be speaking with members of two political parties who are in the running to take that #1 seat in the nation. We're joined here in our Lagos studio, as you may have seen, by Mr. Ayo Fadaka, who is a former zonal publicity secretary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. We'll also be joined by Mr. Shino Fagbero Byron. We'll get to him in a moment, but let's start here in our Lagos studio. Good morning and thank you for joining us on the program.
Good morning to you.
Well, just yesterday, Governor Wike spoke yet again, and this time, I mean, as some even reflected it, it says, finally, it looks like all of the reconciliation efforts and all of that have broken down. And he was quite specific. He spoke about how or why people were not seeing the faces of your presidential candidate, his vice, on all of the campaign materials. And he said that he was disregarded as a governor in the process of selecting members of the campaign council from Rivers State. And from all indications, some might say that it looks like all the efforts have broken down. What do you make of his recent pronouncements?
Well, Governor Wike is somebody I don't always want to talk about when it comes to these party issues, because at times that were very trying for the party, really stood in gap. And I must say, to a very reasonable extent, that many of us that have been consistent members of this party are not too pleased by what is happening now. And I think we believe that even if there's a crisis in the party, Governor Wike should not be going as far as he's going today. Honestly, I was more or less so surprised when he came to Lagos and to come and endorse the sitting governor in Lagos as against the party's candidate here. That is what is basically called anti-party. And that is coming from someone that has put his essence on the line for the party, someone that has done so much for the party. Look, to an average person who sees and reviews what Governor Wike is doing now, he will be seen as a very sore loser. Because all this is, people will see quickly and very simply conclude that all this is happening because he lost at the presidential primary of the party. For him to say that he's disregarded will not be fair coming from him. I particularly know that the presidential candidate of the party, Atiku Abubakar, has met with him not less than 1, 2, 3 times. I also know that committees have been set up to pacify him, to pacify the other governors around him, and they have met not less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. What else is there to be done? How can he, in all honesty, say that he has been disregarded?
But don't forget the issue, one single issue that he's continually repeated is in the interest of justice and all of that, that the presidential candidate cannot come from the same region as the national chairman.
Yes, that seems to be the kernel of the matter. I've always been a member of this party, and I know in this party we have ways of solving crises, and I'm more or less even disappointed too that that process has not been able to put all this out. Above all, you may be agitated for anything within the party, but that does not excuse you putting the interest of the party on the line.
No, he's been very clear. His other parties, even when they came to Ibadan in Oyo State, the governor of the party was very clear. He was unambiguous in making that same declaration that the chairman of the party needed to step down.
Of course, I actually believe in that demand, personally. But again, the new constitution of the party does not in any way make that easy to accomplish now as it used to be in the years gone past. Because before, if the chairman steps down, what we have in the constitution of the party before is that when we have a chairman from a particular zone of the nation, the deputy national chairman was come from the second zone of the nation. But that's no longer the issue. If Senator Yoshayu steps down today and says he's not going to be chairman, the person that will take over from him is not from the south either. So why do we insist that as we head into this election, that we should take actions that will cause another turmoil in the party and in that way put the plans and the planning of the party at risk?
Mr. Fadaka, I don't think that to anyone who is listening, they will be wondering exactly what you're talking about here, because We thought it was no-brainer that the president should take over, the vice president should take over in the event of the death of a president. But that's not what happened, when, late President Yaradua, after his demise, the vice president had to come up with some, what they call it now?
The doctrine of necessity.
Doctrine of necessity.
So couldn't there have been a doctrine of necessity of sorts?
It is not impossible to achieve. In this matter...
So is that them putting into question the interest or not of the leadership of the party?
Well, it's a thorny issue, really. No matter how anybody wants to dance around that issue, it remains a crisis point in the party. I think what is uppermost for me, because some of those of us that are now ordinary, I'm now an ordinary member of the party, those of us that are ordinary members of the party today, we care more about our nation. We care more about putting the party in place to be able to stand for power effectively and rescue this nation. Nigeria of today has degenerated so much that you can never imagine it. A week or so gone by, former Emir of Kano was telling us that Nigeria now prints currency. Anyhow, that is to let you know that our economy is in total shambles. The nation is in total shambles. Insecurity too has sitting so deep into the country. Now we have a chance to effect a change in which party and who governs our nation.
But how convincing?
1 minute, please. Yeah. I believe the issue of who holds the chairmanship of the party at this material time remains very ephemeral.
It does?
Yes, it remains ephemeral now to the challenges confronting the nation. Why you put it side by side? So the challenges confronting the nation.
So it's like putting together a football team, some would say, and then it's been identified that, well, these are the issues that will weaken the team as against the challenge you're facing the other team. And the team is saying essentially that all you want to do is win the game. You want to win the match without sorting those issues. Some would say Governor Wike, if we're speaking about football, he's one of your main strikers, maybe defender, one of your star players.
Saying that.
Exactly. So you're saying that in the interest of the party, he should sheathe his swords. But he's saying that in the interest of maybe the nation or proper representation, this should be done. So really, can you leave one in place of the other?
Now, who aggregates the interest of the nation? We all see it from our different perspectives.
Isn't that why you had that as a rule, as it were, in the party, that it should be equal representation?
Well, yes, we said there should be equal representation. It is unfortunate that we're in this crisis. I don't ever shy away from that fact. It's absolutely unfortunate. And again, I think I have even written a piece sometimes where I said that, look, Chairman Yoshayu, if you are going to be the stumbling block to the party winning the presidency, why don't you just take a honorable part out of it? It depends again on people. For instance, even I'm the national chairman of the party now, and I see that a crisis of this magnitude is being ignited that can consume the party because of me. Of course, I will simply take a way out to rescue the party. Again, that speaks about a personal appreciation of one's words or even situation at hand. So I think Governor Wike and his team have raised their voice so much on this matter, and they have sympathizers in people like me. And that is the truth of the matter. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, for instance, is somebody I'm close to. You understand me? And on this issue, I have attempted to see him on this matter. I've not been lucky.
You said earlier that what Governor Wike is doing amounts to anti-party activities. Is there any?
No, don't isolate it. Don't isolate it. Okay. I said he's coming to Lagos to take a position of supporting a candidate of a rival party. If it can be viewed on another level, will be regarded as being anti-party.
Is there any other level to view it?
Well, maybe you know one.
No, for you. Because another level. Do you have another level to view it? Do you have a dual lens you're looking at this through? But please go ahead.
Well, I'm just asking because, there are those who are wondering, even if indeed that is the position, what then is likely to happen? Because he's not doing this in hiding. He's very vocal, upfront, courageous about it.
Well,
is this something that bothers the national leadership of the party?
I know that Governor Wike and his team are still being spoken to on this matter.
By who?
Look, there is a process, there is a dialogue ongoing in the party.
No, because we've seen the Board of Trustees chairman meet, go around.
It is unending.
And then there's said to be a report
It is
meant to be deliberated
It
over.
is unending. In politics, we don't give up until the very last minute. So it is unending. I know he and his team are still being spoken to. And in all of this, really, in all of this, many of those people in that team are still campaigning for the party. Except that Governor Wike said that because he's not been spoken to on this matter, they removed the picture of Atiku and the national chairman from.
Oh, so you said people in his camp are campaigning for your presidential candidate. People like who?
Huh?
You said people with him are still campaigning.
I didn't say the president. I said they are still campaigning for the party.
For the party?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
For instance, some of these other governors that are in his team, some of them are contesting to be senators. The election of the senator and the president all comes up in the same day. When they campaign, will they say, vote for me as a person, I don't vote for the candidate of the party?
I guess we'll have to wait to see that.
It's a risk.
I guess we'll have